Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Yeah.
We've got a really interesting project to look at today.
Yeah, what's this one?
It's an open source thing on GitHub called tellmemoreAI,
Yeah.
and it's all about automating a YouTube channel pipeline, fully automated.
Oh, wow. So like end to end.
That seems to be the idea. So today we're going to dive into how it actually works based on their GitHub repo, the description, the files, everything.
Okay, cool. Sounds intriguing.
And there's even a live example channel you can check out. It's called Tell Me More, Stories Told as AI Podcast.
So we can actually see the output. What kind of stuff do they cover?
Looks like true crime, historical events, disasters, that sort of thing. They do have a disclaimer, though, saying it's AI generated.
Right. Transparency is good. And it's open source.
Yep. Totally open. You can find it at github.com/tellmemoreAI if you want to, dig into the code yourself.
Okay, great. So what really stands out here, and probably for you listening too, is just how much automation they're aiming for.
Exactly. It's not just like generating a script with AI.
No, it seems like the goal is a completely hands-off system, from getting the idea to hitting publish on YouTube.
Yeah. And that Tell Me More channel is a neat case study. The fact they focus on those specific factual topics, true crime, history is interesting too.
And that AI disclaimer is definitely key.
Yeah.
So let's break it down. The main goal, as you said, seems to be full automation for a YouTube podcast.
Right. Take an idea, turn it into a video, get it online, minimal human touch.
Okay. And looking at the README, it seems like it works through several Python scripts, kind of like stages in a pipeline.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. Looks like 3 main parts.
Seems like it. First, how it gets ideas. Second, generating the actual podcast audio.
And third, turning that audio into a video and publishing it.
Precisely. So let's start with that first bit, idea generation. There's a script, ideagenerator.py. How does that work? What's it doing?
Well, it looks like it tries not to repeat itself, which is smart.
Okay, how?
It checks a few files, ytplaylists.json, which probably defines the channel structure or categories, and a database.json, maybe tracking what it's already made, and also metadata.json files from videos it's already output.
Gotcha. So it scans all that to see which Wikipedia articles it's already used as sources.
Exactly, building up a history. But then how does it find new ideas? That's the key part.
Right. So it seems to use that ytplaylist.json again. That file has URLs and short descriptions, probably representing different themes.
Okay.
And it uses that list to prompt an AI, looks like maybe Gemini by default, and asks it for a new episode idea, specifically as a Wikipedia URL.
That's clever, using AI to brainstorm within the channel's focus. So it gets a new wiki URL back from the AI. Then what?
Then it just adds that URL automatically into the database.json file.
Ah, so that database is like the queue for future episodes.
Pretty much, yeah. A running list of topics ready for the next stage.
Okay, that's efficient for keeping ideas coming. So stage 2, turning that Wikipedia article into audio. That's podcastgenerator.p.
Yep, podcastgenerator.py takes over. It reads that database.json queue we just mentioned.
And looks for ones that haven't been processed yet, like ones without a folder associated.
Exactly. If an item doesn't have a folder defined, it knows it needs to generate the podcast audio for that topic.
Right. And how does it actually make the audio? This seems like the core AI generation part.
It gets pretty interesting here. It uses Selenium WebDriver.
Oh, the browser automation tool?
Yeah. The script uses Selenium to automatically open and control a web browser, like Chrome or Firefox.
Okay. Where does it navigate to?
It goes to NotebookLM.
Google's AI note-taking document analysis thing.
That's the one. The script actually creates a new notebook inside NotebookLM programmatically.
Wow.
And then it adds the Wikipedia article, the one selected from the database, as a source document within that NotebookLM notebook.
Okay, automating interactions with a web app. That's pretty advanced stuff. What next? Once the wiki article is in NotebookLM?
It feeds it a specific prompt. The code mentions a prompt TT podcast variable.
Ah, so it tells NotebookLM how to process the article.
Yes, exactly. Probably instructs it to summarize the Wikipedia content and structure it like a spoken podcast episode.
Makes sense.
Then, once NotebookLM generates the audio based on that prompt, the script downloads it.
Downloads the audio file. Where does it put it?
Good question. It creates a new subfolder inside a main output folder on the local system.
Okay, organized.
It finds the downloaded audio, which is a .wav file, moves it into that new subfolder.
Right.
And, crucially, it also creates a metadata.json file inside that same subfolder.
And what's in that metadata file?
At least the category for the episode, probably from that ytplaylist.json, and the wiki title from the original Wikipedia article.
So each episode gets its own little package.audio file plus key info.
Nice. Okay, we have audio. How does it become a YouTube video? Podcast2video.py, I assume.
You got it. Podcast2video.py kicks in. It scans that main output folder looking for those subfolders we just talked about.
The ones with the audio and metadata?
Yep. For each one it finds, it reads that metadata.json file to get the category and the wiki title. And uses that info to what? Generate the YouTube stuff.
Exactly. It calls another script, geni.po, the AI generation hub. It seems to automatically create the YouTube metadata.
Like the video title, description, tags.
All of that, yeah. Derived from the original article's content. And it also uses another script, custom thumbnail.p, to make a thumbnail image, a JPG file.
Huh. So it automates the thumbnail creation too, not just the text.
Seems so. It's really aiming for the full package.
Okay, so now we have audio, metadata, and a thumbnail. How does it stick them together into a video?
That's where FFmpeg comes into play.
Ah, the multimedia powerhouse.
Right. The podcast2video.py script uses FFmpeg commands to essentially combine the .wav audio file with the generated thumbnail image or images.
Well, it makes like a slideshow video, image stays on screen while the audio plays.
That seems to be the approach, yeah. Simple but effective for a podcast format. This process creates a standard video.mp4 file.
And then it just uploads that MP4 to YouTube.
Directly uploads it, yes.
Does it handle scheduling and putting it in playlists too?
It looks like it. It reads configuration details, again, probably from that ytplaylist.json, to schedule the video upload for a specific time and add it to the right playlists on the channel.
Man, that's a pretty complete pipeline.
It really is. Very little left for a human to do, it seems.
You mentioned some other supporting scripts. Custom thumbnail.py. What else does that do besides the initial creation?
Well, its main separate function seems to be regenerating thumbnails for videos that are already uploaded.
Oh, like if you wanted to update the look?
Maybe, yeah. You can give it a list of YouTube video IDs. It fetches the existing metadata, generates a new thumbnail based on that, and uses the YouTube API to swap the old thumbnail for the new one.
Handy. And geni.py, you called it the AI hub. Can you expand on that a bit?
Sure. It seems to be the central point for interacting with different AI models.
Not just one model.
No, it looks like it's designed to potentially use OpenAI models, Google's Gemini, Imagen for images, maybe even DeepSeek. It depends on the setup. Yeah, and it handles generating the prompts for NotebookLM to create the podcast audio. Plus, it crafts the YouTube titles, descriptions, tags, summaries.
And the prompts for the thumbnail images, too.
Exactly. It seems to manage the API keys needed for these services using environment variables, and you can configure which AI model you want to use for text versus image generation.
So it's the real engine behind all the generated content.
Right.
Okay, what about live.py, live streaming?
Yeah, that one seems pretty straightforward. It provides the function to take a bunch of the generated videos, probably from a specific category in the output folder, and stream them live on YouTube.
How does it do the streaming?
It likely uses media.py and FFmpeg, again, to continuously send the video data to YouTube's live ingest servers.
Right, and media.py itself sounds like the general multimedia toolkit.
Pretty much. It wraps up the functions for running FFmpeg commands, stitching audio and images, streaming, but also image stuff like converting formats, say WebP to JPG, and adding text overlays onto images. That's probably how it puts titles or categories onto the thumbnails.
Makes sense. Okay, we touched on podcastgenerator.py. What about utils.py? Sounds like helper functions.
That's exactly what it looks like, just a collection of utility functions used across the different scripts. Things like reading and writing JSON files, creating folders, downloading files.
Nice plumbing.
Yeah, and functions to easily get the list of subfolders in the output directory and manage that main ytplaylists.json config file. Essential background stuff.
Got it. Then wiki.py, obviously, for Wikipedia interaction.
Yep. It uses the Wikipedia API to fetch page content, get page IDs, URLs, summaries. Crucial for getting the source material for NotebookLM and also for the idea generator to check what's been used.
And last one, yt.py. Handles the YouTube side.
Correct. This uses the official YouTube data API for everything YouTube related. Uploading videos, setting thumbnails, adding to playlists, scheduling uploads, even getting data back from YouTube about videos already there.
And it handles the login securely.
Yes. It uses OAuth 2.0 for authentication, so the script can manage the channel without needing your actual YouTube password stored anywhere. It's the standard secure way to do it.
Okay, wow. So let's try and summarize the whole flow again.
A good idea.
First, idgenerator.py figures out a new topic, gets a Wikipedia URL, avoiding repeats.
Right. Adds it to the database.json queue.
Then podcastgenerator.py picks up a URL from the queue, uses Selenium to drive NotebookLM, feeds it the wiki article, gets back podcast audio.
Yep, downloads the audio, puts it in a folder with metadata.
Next, podcast2video.py finds that folder, uses geni.py to create YouTube title, description, tags, and custom thumbnail.py for the image.
Mm-hmm.
Then it uses media.py and FFmpeg to combine the audio and thumbnail into an MP4 video.
Correct.
And finally, yt.py uploads that video to YouTube, schedules it, adds it to playlists, all based on the config.
That's it. A pretty seamless flow from idea to published video.
It really demonstrates how you can chain together different AI tools and automation scripts to create something quite autonomous.
Definitely. For you listening, this tellmemoreAI AI project is, I think, a really concrete example of where content creation might be heading.
Yeah, seeing a system that just runs, producing videos with minimal intervention, it really makes you think.
And connecting it to the bigger picture, projects like this could seriously lower the barrier to entry for producing video content at scale.
That's true. Think about education or small organizations.
Exactly. It's not just about big media companies. This kind of tech could enable a lot more voices, potentially. Though, of course, that comes with its own set of questions about quality and information sources.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. We've dug into the tellmemoreAI project, an AI pipeline for automating a YouTube podcast channel.
We looked at the components:
Mm-hmm.
idea generation, podcast audio creation via NotebookLM, video stitching with FFmpeg, AI-generated metadata, and automated YouTube publishing.
Yeah, the whole chain. We definitely recommend you check out the GitHub repo, github.com, Venner tellmemoreAI, if you're curious about the code.
And take a look at the Tell Me More, Stories Told as AI podcast channel on YouTube to see the kind of videos this system produces.
It really brings it to life.
So the final thought we want to leave you with is this. As these AI-driven content pipelines get better and easier to use, what does that mean for the information we consume?
And how do human creators fit into this?
Yeah.
How do we adapt or differentiate ourselves in a world where content generation can be automated like this?
It's a big question, definitely something worth pondering as this technology continues to evolve.